Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it was sent to us by one of our dear listeners. She sent this message as a WhatsApp voice note, then we had to type it down. So this is the narration of that voice note that she sent to us. And also, dear listeners, if it happens that we take time to respond to your messages, please do not delete your confessions, because sometimes we'll be busy narrating other voice notes. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi. Good afternoon. How are you? Okay, I don't know if mine is a confession or if it is a very little problem, but I want you to publish my story to your viewers. My English is not that good. I speak French, but I will try as much as I can to give you my story in English. Brother Nashi, I am a woman who is aged 28 years old, and I don't want to disclose where I come from because a lot of people will know me. I gave birth to my first child. This was when I was around 15 years, and now I have 4 children. So this is how it all started. I am from a very poor family, and my father, he was a polygamous man, and my father, he had more than 4 wives. And my father is that type of a man who didn't even care about all of his children that he had in his polygamous marriage. And on my side, my mother was one who was heavily dependent on my father. So because of this, my father was not even taking care of us. He didn't even take care of us such that I failed to finish my education. So now I was making a lot of friends. That was when I met my baby daddy. So we dated until I fell pregnant, and I gave birth to a baby boy for him. But his parents refused to let their son to marry me because of my background, that I was coming from a family that was a polygamous family. For this reason, me and that boyfriend of mine, we were forced to have a breakup. After I had broken up from that guy that I was dating, I then continued with my life. I then find myself traveling to the city and making a lot of friends. After I had made a lot of friends, some of those friends, they then introduced me to prostitution. So I was okay with it, and I used to get a lot of money. So all of the money that I was getting from this prostitution business, what I will do is that I will send it to my mom and to my siblings. And later on, I then got an opportunity to travel from my country going to Saudi Arabia. And when I found myself in Saudi Arabia, things were not as I had thought they would be. Everything was not what I was expecting. I then came back home and I continued with this business that I was doing of prostitution. And I was not okay being a prostitute, because being a prostitute, there were days when I felt that it was not in my blood. I was not born to be a prostitute. And none of my family members didn't even know that I was a prostitute. I was doing all of these things. So later, I then made up my mind, and I told my friend that I didn't want to become a prostitute anymore, and I needed some kind of deliverance. So I tried to get some money, and then I decided to travel to Lagos. When I decided to travel to Lagos, this was somewhere around 2017. That is when I went and I met up with the late Prophet TB Joshua. So on this other Sunday, it was in the service, when he was praying, I started to manifest, and a lot of things happened. Later, he said I should invite my mom to come over, and the prophet then proceeded with delivering us, and he even prophesied to my life, and I had a lot of tattoos on my body, that there is no normal African man that will be willing to marry me, or a mother who would accept his son to marry me. Never, because of all the tattoos that I have on my body. But the man of God prophesied to my life and said, you are delivered, you are going to be married and have kids of your own. But I was not really sure, and he gave me about $2,000 so that I can start a business. I then went back to my village and I gave the money to my mom to start up a little business. And she opened up a business and she was taking care of us. Suddenly, she was broke and I had to go back to the prostitution business. I forgot about that prophecy that I had been given because there was no hope. So when I got back to the street, I was not okay. So I had to travel to my mother's hometown. When I got to my mother's hometown, I met some friends and we went out clubbing and drinking and doing a lot of stuff, but not prostitution. And later, I met my husband, my current husband that I am living with. We started chatting and we understood each other, and I had never told him about my past until now. He does not know my past, which I am really afraid that if I tell him about my past life, what is going to happen the day that he finds out about my past. So when I met my husband, we started to live together. I got pregnant and I gave birth to a baby girl. So when we started staying together, he was living with his mom, and her mom and his mom, she is very rich, very rich. She is quite a billionaire. When I started staying with my husband, I was really happy. I then praised the Lord that the prophecy that had been given to me by Prophet T.B. Joshua had come to pass. So we then got married, and I, as a woman who was following the Islamic religion, and my husband, he was following the Christian religion, but everything was fine. We were living together peacefully, and his mom was okay. And she gave me one of the shop, and I was doing the same business that she was doing, and everything was okay. I even bought my first car, and at that time I had 3 cars that were in my name. I was doing well even with my husband. I was also taking care of my mom, and we were enjoying life. But my husband, he was the poorest man in the world. Everything that he was doing was not working. My mom-in-law has 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. My husband's brother committed suicide. No one even know how this thing happened. So all of my husband brothers who are alive, everything that they try, nothing good is coming out of everything that they try to touch with their hands. When I say nothing, it is like they are cursed. Everything that they touch will become cursed. They are trying each and everything, but they just can't succeed in whatever they try. They only get help from their mother. My mom-in-law sometimes can give her sons millions and millions so that they can start a business, but they will come back with nothing. Now, as for me, my business collapsed. Also, nothing is working for me. So me and my husband, we left my mom-in-law's house, and now we are staying in another city at my husband's grandma's place. My husband is trying very well, Brother Nashi, but to no avail. But his mom, she is a billionaire. Recently, my brother-in-law had an accident and he almost died. The thing that I keep on asking myself is that why is it my mom-in-law is very rich, she is a billionaire, while her children are suffering like that? They are very poor, especially my husband. He is very poor. He is not even able to take care of our children. So now my kids are staying with my mother, and I am hustling to get money to send to my mom and to feed my kids. I am no longer living with my husband. Not that we are divorced, but I just wanted to hustle so that I can feed our children. I can't look up to my husband so that he can take care of us since he is very poor. Brother Nashi, I need help. Please post my story. I don't know if mine it is a confession. I used to listen to you very well. Now I am trying to get a little bit of money, thinking that maybe I would find someone who is going to find a solution for me and my husband, because I don't even know what is going on in our lives. We are always hungry, especially my children. I used to cry a lot for my kids. I don't want my kids to drop out of school. Please post for me, my brother Nashi. I need help. Thank you. Dear listeners, right there was a message that came from a voice note that we received. It was sent to us by one of our listeners. Strange things do happen in this world.